Welcome to the Fit Life for Busy Parents podcast. My name is Coach Cam, and my mission here is simple. I want to empower you as a high achieving parent to go out there and really regain energy, confidence, and identity through a series of proven strategies. My man, Lou, is with us here today. I'm super excited to be able to do this interview here because Lou has been with our Tidal Wave family now for some time. And honestly has come in and really made the Tidal Wave family what it is. Really has come in and become a leader. He's such a great, kind soul, such a great personality. And honestly, it's just been such a pleasure to get to know him and truly call him family. So, Lou, I appreciate you jumping on, my man. How's everything going for you so far?
Pretty good, pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. I mean, when I got great people like yourself and the rest of the Tidal Wave family around, I'm always winning, right? So I'm excited. With that being said, let's kick things off, right? I mean, at this point, you've lost over 160 pounds on this journey. It's truly an incredible feat, and it just shows how far you can really go. How would you describe how, that transformation so far has just like changed your day-to-day life, whether that's work, personal, family related?
Uh, it's it's completely changed it. My wife the other day even told me, she goes, you're completely a different person than the person I married back then, and she meant it in a good way.
Right.
And, and I've said it before, and I'm going to continue to say it. That title training has truly saved my life. Right, I was going down a very bad path. I topped out at 516 pounds. I
Mhm.
couldn't walk down the hallway without having to stop and take a breath and everything. Every time I would visit my nephew, I'd come through the door and he'd look at me like, "Man, are you okay? You can't even like breathe
Mm,
car coming in the house."
right.
And so the whole movement and you know, learning how to eat and what to eat and getting your protein straight, your macros and everything has just been completely different. And it's not even just the health aspect of it, because I mean that's what we're trying to do here anyway. But like
Right.
the health leads to more energy, which leads to more activity, which leads to making more memories with my little nieces and my family and stuff. And
Right.
that's the part of the equation that I didn't realize was missing when I was trying to lose weight before. It was always about the numbers on the scale,
Right.
as
Sure.
this numbers on a scale, but also getting my body in condition to actually be able to live instead of just existing. And
Right.
that
Wow.
makes all the difference in the world. It's for motivation, and as for just being able to successfully keep doing this. That was my problem before. Whenever I always tried to lose weight, I would lose a bunch of weight, and then I'd get tired of it, and I couldn't keep
Sure.
it up, gain it all back plus some, and then I'd have to try to do it again, and then same thing. And so, with title and the dirty cut method,
Yeah.
it's I was able to, and that's probably what the key is I was able to keep eating the same foods and stuff that I like
Right. Hmm.
and get less of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the enjoyment was still there. So it wasn't a chore to try to
Hmm.
like hit my diet goals or hit my macros, or, I didn't even know what a
Right.
macro were, and so it's like with, with,
Okay.
with the group here and everything, it's not just go on a diet, eat a salad, try to drop
Right.
weight, right? Hey, you
Yep.
can't, because this hamburger does have protein in it that you do need on a daily. So you can have it. Don't have five cheeseburgers, but have a cheeseburger. You know,
Sure.
and and that's made it, because I wasn't just eating chicken breast and rice and salad all day every day.
Right.
So it's the enjoyment that kept me going, and it's just the more I lose and the healthier I get, and the more activity I can do, I
Hmm.
keep going because I can do more. And I'm like, well, hey, I wonder if I can do this now, and I
Yep.
can go with that. And so it's like it's a complete different mindset than what I
Yeah.
used to. And like the motto, it's turning one day into a lifestyle, and that's what it is. And the lifestyle feeds itself, because
Right.
the more you get of it, the more you want to do it. And I don't know if it's because I wasn't able to do these things for so long at the size and the weight that I was, and that now
Right.
I'm starting to be able to do all these things that I can remember doing as a kid, but nowhere did I ever do them as an adult.
Sure.
And that's fun, right? And it's exciting
Yeah.
because I'm a competitive kind of person. So even if I'm competing with myself, it's like, oh, we walked a mile yesterday. How far can we get today? Oh, we
Right.
did one. Let's keep going. Today you're going to do two. And did two. Okay, I did two, so now I got to keep doing two. But it's not like a chore. It's like, hey, let's see what we can do tomorrow, and let's keep getting better and getting better and better. So you
Right.
know, it's an experience because when I first started with you guys, 150 feet, I was done. Take a 10
Right.
minute, get up and start moving again. Now I'm crushing 3 mile walks at a shot without stopping stuff, and
Yep.
they're getting bigger. I'm finding more places to walk so that my walks
Hmm.
can get. So
Right.
it's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's nice to see what I can actually do, and I'm still waiting to see how much more I can do. So
Right. 100%. No, I mean, I think that that's been the coolest part about your journey, right? Is seeing, I mean, I was going to say little milestones, but they're milestones like that are big, right? Along the journey. Like, I think for one, right? I remember when you went on your birthday trip, right? Your foodie tour, and you were like, I looked at the hotel that we were at and made sure that it had a gym. And you're like, that would have never been me before, right? I like would laugh at the people that are in there, right? And like you're wasting your time kind of thing or whatever. Being able to start jogging, right? And like things like that you're like, I haven't done that in forever, right? So it's really one of those things that not only just physically, right? And I know you just mentioned this the other day in our group chat. You've gone from big Lou, right? But you're really become medium Lou, right? And like it's a funny joke, but it's one of those things at the same time that it's like you're making so much of an impact on so many people, like you said, from your wife to your niece to your coworkers. What's been the most fulfilling part for you in terms of that, or what experiences have you had with other people kind of picking up on your positive energy that you feel like I'm just so glad that I did this?
it's I guess most recently is with the step challenge we're doing at work. Right? The
Yeah.
National Heart Day yesterday, and so our job went ahead and had people take pictures and make the pledge, to live a healthier lifestyle for a year or whatever, and get steps. And so they put out 100,000 step challenge yesterday, and people joined it. Well, as soon as they brought up walking,
Yeah.
everyone kind of looked at me, right? Like
Where's Lou at?
I'm like, and they're like, he's gonna win, he's gonna crush it. But that turned into me showing people how to use the fitness app on their iPhones and how to track it. And together we were looking at the things and we found out that they were getting way more steps than they thought they were getting, right? And
Yeah.
so got them more enthused into it and they were actually more excited to walk because they're like, well, hey, that's not as hard as we thought it was. We can keep doing this. And
Right.
there's one guy, Harold, who I guess he used to walk a lot when he was younger, but then he had like health issues and stuff, and
Sure.
he's starting to get back into it because he used to see me walk at break at work, and
That's
so now
awesome.
he kind of walks the same loop and everything. So he's been doing it, but he's the main one at the challenge that was like, "Oh, no, you're gonna beat me. You're gonna win and everything." We looked at his thing. I was sitting at like 5,000 steps at the time, and he's almost at 13,000. I'm like,
Hmm.
"What are you doing?" Well, that's because of you. You got me walking. You helped me. But so I
That's
mean that
so cool.
I mean it's just and people. I'm no fitness expert or certified
I
coach.
don't shoot yourself down, man. You
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 know,
you know some stuff now.
but that's the thing is that they come to me and ask me this stuff, and I'm able to explain it. I'm like, whoa, like a year ago, I wouldn't have known that. And
Right.
and I guess the one of the good things about the way we've done it and the way I've lost is that a lot of people I haven't seen in a while come up and like, man, you look great, and and they tell me, it's like a lot of times when people lose a lot of weight, especially like 150 pounds, like I've done,
Right.
they don't look right. They look sick or something, or
Yeah.
and that's what I get
100%.
told is that, man, you're doing great. You look, you don't look like you've lost a lot of weight. You look good. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, I don't. And my eyes aren't all sunk in my head and dark.
Yep.
I'm not. I don't have a tremendous amount of loose, just hanging skin just sitting there. Because we're exercising and stuff, so it's
Yeah.
it's lower. And so, I mean, I guess that's probably my because that was always my biggest fear is losing a lot of weight like that and then having I used to call
Right.
it, but all the
Yeah.
loose skin down and everything, and that's not happening. And I'm looking good. I'm feeling better. People are noticing it, and that always helps. Compliments
Yeah.
always help, whether you want to admit it or not.
Sure. Of
You
course.
want, you know, and so I think it's just the being able to help like friends at work or even family like Lisa, who's doing the 30-day challenge with us,
Right.
helping stuff and planning, helping people plan out like protein levels and stuff, and telling them what, hey, this is a good source of protein, or you know what, hey, this one's got like 5 grams of protein, but it's 500 calories. It's not really what you want to look at. You know, that stuff I wouldn't have been able to do before. And so
Right.
it makes me feel good because I feel like I've grown. You know,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
while I'm shrinking, I'm gosh,
I love that.
you know, that's what I like, and I can see myself going to like when I joined. You said your goal was for everyone to get to a point where
Mhm.
you know they won't need Coach Cam, you know, every day,
Right.
and they do it themselves. And I kind of see myself getting there.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I can see where this. I mean, I already know it is, but I can see how this thing is going to be sustainable for like the rest of my
Right.
life. And
Yep.
that's what I'm proud of, is just that I'm going to be able to sustain this and keep going with it and not be discouraged. And
Yeah.
you know, I can do it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I love that. And I think one of the things that you were kind of hitting on there, right, in terms of like the coworkers and Lisa and just everybody that you're encouraging, right? You're supporting, you're getting them to also buy in, is that you're becoming a leader in this space. And I think that that's something that everybody kind of worries about, right? Is like, are people going to accept as I continue to lose weight? Are they going to judge me? Like, are they going to make fun of me for trying, right? Am I going to lose it and then gain it back, right? But truly, when you do it in a way, like you said, where it's sustainable and it's enjoyable and you can still kind of live your life, you do become a leader. You learn, you start to become into that space. And all of a sudden, it's like, man, I would have never thought, like, for me, would have never thought in a million years that I would be someone who like helps other people do this. Like I couldn't even have done it myself 6, 7 years ago, right? But now I'm in this space and being a leader in this, and you are as well, and it's just really, really cool to see. So going along with that, right? There's been leaders that have kind of been along your journey, whether you want to say me or Alfred, Alex, etc. What have been challenges that you've still faced, even though this has been, it seems like a much easier journey than most other things that you've done in the past? What have been challenges that you've faced, and how is like the community that we have and those other leaders, right? How have they been able to help you?
Well, you probably know it. My biggest challenge has been workouts. You know, it's
Yep.
just for whatever reason, the mental block there just
Hmm.
started, or you know, has been my biggest obstacle. And I don't know if it's because you know my schedule's different, right? So I work swing
Sure.
shifts, so I live in a house with my nephews, and they're asleep when I come home. So it's kind of
Hmm.
hard to make a lot of noise and work out at night, even though I'm not
Right.
out loud. But you know, you don't want to wake anybody up.
Right.
And it's the same token, you know, I sleep most of the day because that's our hour. So getting up early has just never been my thing, right? So it's
Right.
kind of the workouts have been my biggest trouble. But then you see people like Alfred, right?
Hmm.
Alfred crushing it, you know. And the first time I seen a picture of Alfred, I think was one of his comparison photos, right?
Yeah.
That's first him, and I was going, oh my god. I mean, and he hadn't been in it that long, I don't believe, when I first
Yeah.
seen that. He had been in it a
Right.
while, and the transformation was just like, wow. And he's always in the chat going, hey guys, you can do this. You know, this is what we did. He goes, you just got to be consistent, keep going with it. You know, hey, the guy at the gym says I'm doing great, and I'm an old guy. You know, so if I can do it, you can do it, and everything. And then you got Alex, who's
Hmm.
out there. Alex has done amazing lately with the gym and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, I was joking with him the other day on Instagram, thinking about he's in there doing his little mirror pose like this, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
someone bought tickets to the gun show and everything, you know, and it's just. But I seen in the beginning, you know, how they all kind of struggle with the workouts as well, and so it was motivation. You know, it's just I can see them
Right.
doing it. Hey, I see. I think is it Ryan? That's like kind of like the
Yep.
power kind of, you know, and he's always showing. I'm looking at his workouts and he's going around.
Hmm.
Whoa, you know, and I'm like, I'm not out to get cut or ripped, but like to see
Sure.
these able to do it every day and
Hmm.
consistently on schedule the way they're supposed to be doing it. it took a while, but and I think the big turn thing was the 30-day challenge, the hard 72 way. You know,
Right.
for whatever reason, because it's a competition, remember that got me on my workouts. And since I've
Hmm.
that, they have been consistent, and I can keep doing it. But it's the motivation from those guys with their workouts, showing how they push, and
Right.
like Alfred even was like during the steps at first, right?
Hmm.
Um it was his whole thing with, dude, I know you're having trouble with the steps. I'm having trouble with the steps. My feet kill me all day. He goes, but I'm here with you. He goes, you do them, I'm doing them. He goes, we're going to do them day by day together.
Yeah.
And so, and that was back when I was hitting like three, maybe 4,000 steps a day.
Right.
And that was motivation. And that's what I love about the title family is that we're always here. You have a bad day nutrition. Hey, you know what? It happens. We're all human. Let's bounce back tomorrow. Hey,
Yep.
check-in day. Make sure, hey guys, let's have our accountability. Let's put it in there.
Yeah.
It's that's one of the big missing pieces that I've always had, and it's the camaraderie, it's the family aspect of it.
Hmm.
It's I don't have to worry about having a bad day because I've got my squad to lift me up. I've
That's
missed
awesome.
I missed my steps today. Hey, these guys are right there walking with me. We'll get them back tomorrow. I can't figure out this nutrition. I go, how do I get I got 200 calories left, but I got to hit 24 grams of protein in. What do I do,
Hmm.
squad?
Hmm.
Eat this, grab this, and eat it.
Yep.
Got 7 suggestions on how to get it right then. So
Yeah.
it's it helps, and it's like if I didn't have those guys, it would be so much harder. And
Yep.
support helps, but it's like the squad dynamic is just so important to your support system.
100%.
If whenever I have a challenge, they're there to back me up and everything. So they're a big
Yep.
motivation. They're a big tool.
Right.
Part of that. So
Yeah. Strength in numbers, right?
yep,
Is that you feel, hey, like I can see the tangibility behind this. I can see other people getting results. I see myself getting results, right? And it continues to just inspire all of us. So I think that that's a huge part in like terms of belief, right? That these things can happen. I think that that can be a big part of it for a lot of people, right? They don't necessarily believe anymore that either they're going to do it, right, and actually get the results, or they don't believe that they can, right? Or they have so much history of maybe failing that they're like, I can't. So I'm gonna kind of ask a two-part question here because I kind of have a follow-up depending on your answer. But what was the thing that made you believe to start, right? Because like even for us being completely transparent, you had a call with me and you scheduled another call, right? You weren't ready to make that decision at that point. You wanted to talk it over with your wife and make sure your family was on board and all that stuff. What was the thing that got you to believe I need to at least try?
well, I think what it was I had some health issues. My
Right.
Me and my gallbladder decided we could no longer coexist, and the treatment options at my size and at that time were pretty limited. There was stuff that they wanted to do, or like scans and stuff that I just physically couldn't do. I couldn't fit in the machine. The surgery itself was more difficult because of my size. And doing
Right.
it was a wake up call. I'm like, holy crap, I have to do something. It was always, oh, you're relatively healthy, and well, I was relatively healthy, and here I am needing some kind of something from the doctor,
Right.
and I couldn't get it right. So it's like you have to do something. And to be pretty honest, it was, uh, you know, I I didn't have much faith in anything because I've tried so many times.
Sure.
But
I hear you.
I was like, man, I have to try something, right? And it was I was always concerned about cost and everything because you think it's personal trainer and stuff, and you think it's going to be through the moon and stuff. But it's like when you told me, it's like, yes, there's a cost, but there's a cost
Sure.
with it, and you have to think of it like an investment. You make investments in your retirement, you make investments into your home. But what's the point of all that if you don't invest in your health so that you're around to enjoy those, right? And so
Right.
the fact that I had to do something and I didn't know what to do, I knew I
Right.
couldn't by myself and I needed some kind of help. And was Really, it was the you telling me that your goal was to get us to be able to do it on our own and not try
Mm,
to bring me along for like,
sure.
5, 10 years thing. I was like, okay, well, that seems genuine. He's not looking at me like a number. He's actually looking at me because in fact, I think when he first contacted me, it was because um I made a comment on our friend Nick's
Yep.
journey, and that's
Yep.
how you see me and you started the dialogue based off of that. So,
Right.
but it was the knowing I couldn't do it by myself and I needed some kind of help. I needed some kind of guidance. The
Hmm.
fact seemed genuine when you talked to me.
Right.
And, I was like, man, I got to do something. So let's try this. I'll give it a shot and everything. And, it has turned out to be like the best investment of my life, really. Yeah,
That's awesome.
because I'm not sure exactly what would have happened or where I'd be right now if I hadn't done something, and
Yeah.
so it was, yeah, it was an eye opener just having a
Right.
quote simple gallbladder
Yeah.
operation, and it was just, yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And the thing that kind of like came into my mind, right, that you were like, uh, I wonder where I would have been, right, if I hadn't made this decision to go. It's kind of like I don't know if you know the Kanye West meme that he has, where it's like people always ask me what would have happened if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know, right? Like, because he ended up winning, so it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, we'll never know, right, where that could have taken you. But kind of that second part of the question that I was talking about is that obviously you kind of had to have that push to believe in the beginning, right? And then now I think along with the team, you've obviously believed in yourself. You obviously see the proof in the pudding. You're believing in yourself more. One of the things that we have talked about, right, and you shared with the Tidal Wave family in the past, is now that belief that I think whether it was there and just very, very dim, but it's definitely getting a lot brighter now, is that belief that you are going to be on the beach, right? When you're in your 60s, 70s, right? Feeling amazing, being, the healthiest version of yourself, chasing around family members and things like that. How is that belief continuing to grow and how does that like motivate you going forward as well? Is that like something you think about often?
Yeah, a different way kind of now, I would say,
Okay.
because before it was, oh, I would like to do that. I
Right.
would, it'd be great if I could do that.
It's like a
Now,
movie being made about you kind of thing.
yeah, you always want to be able to go do things
Right.
and sit on the beach and enjoy the thing over there. But yeah, that's a long way to walk from the parking lot down there to enjoy that. I don't think I can do that. Um, but like now, it's it's more, hey, when are we going to do this? And
Right.
hey, let's start planning this. And
Awesome.
probably the biggest thing and biggest motivator has been my little nieces, right? Because
Right.
I came, I started this at a time when they were like, I think they were 4 and maybe
Hmm.
6, right? So that's prime. Get on the ground,
Yeah.
play cars, Barbies, whatever they want to play with. But
Right.
and I'm not afraid to say that I've played dolls with them and stuff. But
I play dolls with my daughter all the time, or tea sets.
I haven't gotten that far yet. But you know, they have everything they want to play, and they want to run around, and they want to do this, and they want to. Grunkle, let's go over here. Let's go do this. Can we go over here? Well, yes, we can. Let's go. And it's
Right.
being able to keep up with them and go to like their little fun things or going on outings that I wouldn't go on before because I couldn't walk that
Yeah.
far or there's no benches around and everything. It's just that now has turned into let's plan this event. Let's go
Mm,
do this. Hey, let's go to the park and go run around and yeah, crazy and stuff. Whereas we can't go to that park. There's no benches for Grunkle to sit at. Or yeah, I can
yeah.
drive, but I'm not walking all the way out there and stuff. I've missed stuff in the past where we've gone. We the family took a trip to Oregon for Halloween one year, and we
Okay.
went. I don't know if you know the Roll Off Farms, but
Right.
it's
Hmm.
they're Little People Big World on TLC, right? And so we
Yeah.
went to that stuff, and while we were up there, they went to Halloween Town, right?
Hmm.
go to that one because there was no place to sit or walk around. But like now I can go. I want to go back just so I can go with them.
Yeah, right.
But it's it's a different mindset because before when I was thinking about places to go, it was okay. What are we going to eat there?
Yeah,
you
right.
like, uh, hey, that was a great place. Remember that sandwich we had there? Now it's
Yeah,
more like, hey, that's a cool place. Remember when we went and walked 18 miles in the zoo and saw all the animals, and I
yeah.
remember here and played on the beach and stuff because of this stuff. And so I call my little goobers, but the little goobers now have me actually planning things instead of
That's
just.
awesome.
So I'm like, that's kind of like my mindset now is, hey, when are we going to go do this? Let's plan this. Let's make it happen and everything. So I don't
Right.
want those years of being able to play with because they get old sometimes.
Oh
They're going to
yeah,
get not going to want to hang out with
100%.
stuff. And so it's like those memories. I want to be able to say, yes, we did this. Yes, we had this fun here. That's in addition to getting healthy, but that's my one of my
Right.
motivations and my biggest drive right now is to get in that position where I'm going to be here for like another 30, 40 years to play with their kids,
Yeah.
maybe their grandkids. So that's
Yeah.
it's
That's
a change
awesome.
of mindset.
Yeah, and that's the point of health, right? I mean, having picture perfect health and not doing anything with it, right? Like, what's the point? The point of getting healthy, right, is for all the things you were talking about, being able to live longer, be able to make those memories and those experiences, be able to be present and make sure that you have influence on other people as well, right? I think that that's really, really cool, man. And the fact that they're now not just like making plans and then seeing whether like Grunkle can go with them, but now it's like, let's just go to Grunkle. Like, let's just go and make the plans with him, and then everybody else will follow along, right? Like, that shows that they're also witnessing and seeing the transformation, right? It's not something you're having to tell them, well, I'm doing this now, so it's okay, right? They
Mm-hmm.
notice. That's awesome. So, last question I kind of wanted to kind of tie everything together here with Lewis. I would imagine that there was at least some level when you started that thinking of losing the weight that you've lost now, right? Or even the goals that we have going forward, just would have felt there's no way. It's overwhelming. It's too big to think about, right? What would you tell someone, right, who's maybe in your original shoes when you started, to say, just go and do it based off of your experience? What would that talk or that motivational speech be to someone?
It would be, and I guess what I would have like if I was having the conversation with myself.
Right.
It's like just do it. It's you have to start somewhere.
Hmm.
Whether your goal is 5 pounds, 50 pounds, or 150 pounds,
Hmm.
you're not anything. You're not going to make any progress if you don't at least try and start. Right.
Right.
Um, you have to do something.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can't do it yourself. Right.
Sure.
So, do it with someone who actually cares. Do it with a community that's going to support you and lift you up as you're going. And once you start doing it,
Hmm.
you realize how easy. I don't want to say, but you see
Yeah.
how attainable it is, and
Yeah.
how it gets easier every day when you keep doing it and stuff. So
100%.
you know, don't let yourself fall by the wayside. Make the change in yourself. Get your mind right,
Right.
and you know, if for no one else, do it for yourself, so
Yeah.
that you can be around long enough to see your gains and everything. It's you have to start somewhere. So just the hardest part is starting and
Right.
just trying to do something. Once you get
100%.
started, there's the ball will keep rolling. It's like a snowball going down a hill. It starts off a
Yep.
little rock, and then by the time you're done, it's knocking buildings over. And that's what it feels like, honestly. It's
Yeah.
just you don't realize what you can do until you do it, until
Right.
you try to do it, until you start doing it. And then you're like, oh, hey, I did that. Well, that's not too far. Let's see if I can get this. Well, hey, I did that. That wasn't as hard as or bad as I thought it was. Let's keep
Yeah.
going. The more you do, the more you'll get encouraged. The more you'll want to do more. And the more you'll be mad how far yourself get when you can see what you could have done this whole time.
Sure.
And where all you needed was just that extra little, that little push, that little bit of knowledge that
Yeah,
makes,
for sure.
because, and that helps when, because chicken and rice don't cut it every day, buddy.
No.
You have to be balanced. You have to have fats. You have to have
Yeah,
carbs. You have protein. You have to have activity, and it doesn't have
yeah.
to be running 18 miles a day. You can
Right.
walk an hour
Mhm.
total, not even all at one shot, but
Right,
each
right.
get done. And so when you're at a spot
Mhm.
and a place where it just like it seems hopeless, just be aware that it's never hopeless. You just need to look in a different direction for that hope. And once you
Right,
start, you'll see the ripple effect, and it'll be easier to go. Hey, Jace.
right.
It'll be easier to keep going and get better. And then the more you get better, the more enthused you'll be, and then the more you'll go even further. It's just, and at some point there will be a shift. There'll be a switch that
Oh yeah.
clicks in your head, and it's like, wow, okay, why didn't I see this before? And then it just falls, and then it just
Yep.
becomes wake up, eat breakfast, exercise, do this, boom,
Mhm.
day, do this, do it a little different, but I'm still going to keep doing it. Wow, I don't have the same thing every day. Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
I'm down 25 pounds. Holy mess. It's just,
right.
don't be afraid to believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to start the process. Don't
Right,
be afraid to lean on people to get the advice and the support that you need,
right.
wherever it's from. Um, is it nice to have a squad? It's amazingly nice to have a squad to lean on.
Sure.
But at some point, you're going to realize you have to do something, right? And
Right.
that's the hard part, is just taking that first step off that ledge
Yep.
and taking that leap of faith. But
Yeah.
just at some point, you're going to have to do it. Otherwise, you'll regret it for the rest of your life.
Right.
However, you know,
Yeah, that leap of faith is scary. I mean, it was the same thing even for me, right? Like when I first started actually doing what we do here now, right? Even though it's like a skeleton of what we actually do now, it's scary, right? It's almost like getting behind a wheel, like the wheel of a car again after a car accident, right? But at the same time, what's the alternative? Right? I'm just never going to drive again. I'm never going to be able to go to work and I'm never going to be able to go and see family that lives in another city or whatever, right? So it's one of those things when you kind of look at, okay, if I don't do this, what's the alternative? And you're not willing to accept that alternative. At some point, you got to take that leap of faith. And I think the cool thing too is that along the way, this is something your journey has taught me. And then I think I've now recognized more about my journey as well, is that don't look at the big number, right? Whatever that big number is, whether that big number is 50 or that big number is 250, right? It doesn't matter. You're going to hit milestones along the way that make you so happy and see the tangibility, right? Not being out of breath at 150 steps, right? Being able to jog even for 10 seconds, right? Whatever it might be, those little milestones are going to be so impactful as well that it's just going to be life changing.
yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I look at how I used to think
Hmm.
a year ago, 6 months ago, versus
Sure.
how I think now, and the attitude shift is just, it's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
I It's like, wow, why did I ever think that?
Hmm.
Why play now or back then? It's just, it's different.
That's awesome. No, I love it. I know that that's only going to continue to compound, right? As you get more and more, milestones under your belt and just feeling more and more amazing. And truthfully, Lou, I've said this a million times, it couldn't have happened to a better person. Like the energy that you have. I mean, there's little things, even in this, that I've seen you do that just show who you are, right? You kind of like looking side to side because there's people around you that are maybe coming up and saying stuff. And just that's your energy, right? Is that even when you're doing something and most people would be like, stop, like I'm doing this, right? Leave me alone. I need to be in you're just so happy, you're loving, you care for people, right? And I think that's what makes you such a great leader within our group is that your story is one relatable, but then two, like they see the genuine nature. You're not some oh, this is all about me kind of thing. You're just a real person with real positive energy. You love your family, you love the people around you, you wear your heart on your sleeve. And that's why it's been such a pleasure to coach you one, but truthfully, I feel like for the next 30, 40 years, we're going to keep in contact. We're going to be friends. We're probably going to meet in person when I'm traveling or you're traveling and being able to see each other and our families. And it's just going to be a beautiful experience, man. So I truthfully thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking that leap of faith on me because I know that you're taking leap of faith on yourself, but also on me, right? That I'm going to guide you in the right direction. And the one thing that I can promise you, anybody who's listening that ever empowers me the same way, the rest of the Tidal Wave family is I'm always going to do everything that I can to make sure that I'm in your corner and I give you the best advice possible, and we'll continue to pivot until we get you where you want to go. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate you, Lou. I appreciate your time today as well. If you guys are watching this and have missed other podcasts, make sure you guys subscribe below to go ahead and make sure you don't miss either Luke coming back in the future or other people that we have on the podcast, other podcast topics that we have. I thank you, Lou. Have a great rest of your day, my man. And thank you for turning one day into a lifestyle with us. See you soon.